Right, welcome to DC to B Revolution, supporting chiropractic students to think big, to live large. I'm your host, Noah Volz, and today I'm here with Dr. Tony Rose. He's the director of Chiropractic Masterclass, also the director of the Chiropractic Leadership Alliance in Australia and New Zealand, and the co-host of the Insightful Chiropractor. Dr. Tony Rose, thanks for being here.
Oh, Noah, thanks for having me on. It's an absolute pleasure. Love what you're doing. So looking forward to this session.
Yeah, really looking forward to you sharing your knowledge with chiropractic students and chiropractors who really want to innovate and up their game. In terms of chiropractic, what do you feel is the most contemporary and pressing issue facing the profession right now?
Yes, I've been putting a lot of thought into this one, Noah, and it's a great question. I think the next thing that chiropractors and therefore students need to be addressing is this concept of mastering. I think one thing that we've got this amazing philosophy, this amazing underpinning idea of why we do what we do. Yet what I think we're really lacking, and in today's contemporary model, is this people just kind of floating along, thinking that they can just do okay and that will be, giving them a successful practice. And I just think today we really need to master what it is that we do as chiropractors to then be seen as experts in the healthcare field to deliver that amazing thing that we know that we can deliver, which is this, healing from above, down, inside out, and the skill set of the adjustment. But I just see far too many chiropractors and chiropractic students just being a little bit wishy-washy on their skills, and it's something that can be improved and trained. And so I think the biggest thing going forward now at the moment is becoming the master of what we do.
Yeah, and talk a little bit more about that, because I know personally, that's how I feel. I feel like my skills as a second-year student starting to go into clinic are not where they should be. And it's not like I've been just sitting back and not doing anything. I've been training, but maybe I haven't been doing the right type of training in order to lead me towards mastery. What would you recommend?
Yeah, I used to run a program called Practice Ready, which is a program for fourth and fifth year chiropractic students to get them practice ready. And we used to go through, whether it was consultations, report of findings, adjusting skills. And what I found was that the vast majority of these fourth and fifth years, so final students, just had some shocking skills when it came to actually adjusting, delivering the art of what we do. And I'm like, this is just crazy. I mean, you should come out with a certain confidence and level of skill when it is with adjusting. Sure, you can always refine and get better and explore different techniques and all that sort of stuff. But I just think that the students now really need to be working on those adjusting skills from day one. We need to be getting your hands on people as often as you can, whether it's just feeling. We need to know what normal feels like, to know what a subluxation feels like. We need to be just touching as many people as possible. I've got some mates that with a brunt of my practicing when I was a student, and they've had everything done to them, whether they needed it or not. I was doing it to them, and they willingly were helping me out, and now obviously I can keep them adjusted, and they're very happy about that. So I think just getting your hands on people. One of the things that I find with students, and one thing that I get my students to do, is practicing some of the really basics of how do you walk into a room and greet people? How do you start an adjustment process or a visit? How do you end that process so you're not stuck in a room or at a table with someone longer than you need to be? These little skills that can free us up. If we know exactly how and what we're going to say when we walk in and out of a room, it frees up our headspace to focus on what it is that's really important, and that is connecting with a person. And how many times do you practice connection? Laying your hands on people, breathing with them, connecting in, and then starting your visit. Whereas we see this kind of deer in the headlights, the student comes in and goes, whoa, too busy, do, and there's no time for connection. And so that's something that I think all students can can practice and you know, becoming connected with that person in front of them.
I feel like that's brilliant the way that you frame that. I mean, I think so many students are focusing on the adjustment, but I know when I was studying willpower, we make over 200 willpower decisions a day. And kind of after we make the 200th one, we have a hard time sustaining our willpower after that. And I feel like what you said about, you know, knowing what to say when you enter the room, knowing how to end the conversation at the end of, you know, the adjustment, those are little willpower decisions. And when you already know that, then you can focus all of your energy on being present with the person and delivering the best quality adjustment. So it actually improves your adjustment skills by mastering the communication skills.
Oh, hugely. Yeah, I've you know, saying a bit like on my computer right now, you know, too many tabs open. My brain often has too many tabs open and it can't handle more input. So if I can close off some of those tabs of, you know, what I'm going to say, how I'm going to introduce myself, where I'm going to stand in the room, where the patient's going to be, you know, and these are things that I've, you know, practiced over the years. And, you know, as students, you can do this stuff, you know, with each other in the student practice, and just get really good. So you just then don't have to think about it ever again.
Yeah, perfect. So, you know, I know that one of your things is the Chiropractic Masterclass, and there are a lot of trainings in the marketplace for chiropractors right now. What do you feel like makes your specific training really unique and meets chiropractors and chiropractic students where they are?
Yeah, I think one of the things with Dr. Angus Pike and myself when we started Chiropractic Masterclass was, you know, we were sort of one of the first to enter the online field with these, what we call our summits, our online summits. And so it was sort of trying to put programs in front of people as to, and well, in the framework of how they like to consume information. You know, I'm in my 40s now, and, you know, I didn't have a mobile phone or computers growing up, so that wasn't our language. And for the first, you know, 15 years of my practicing life, it was always going to seminars, live seminars in person. Whereas now, you know, the younger generations and most of the people that you'd be studying with are consuming information constantly on their mobile device, iPads, computers. It's just how it is. So that's what we've been trying to do with people, is to try and give them the information in the format that they like to consume it, yet still sticking with the principles of chiropractic. You know, we saw you can go online and do a lot of online training to get your hours up and all that sort of stuff, but it was all in areas that I certainly didn't want to learn in, you know, rehabilitation of this and the vital signs of this and that. And it's like, hang on, what about some good chiropractic stuff? How do we look after pediatric patients better? How do we improve our new patient visit? How do we look at the science of the subluxation? You know, all these sort of things. And we thought, well, we can put some programs together, and it's gone from there. So it's been a fun journey, and it hasn't finished yet.
Yeah. So without, you know, giving away everything that you do in the Chiropractic Masterclass, what do you feel like is the kind of one intervention or the one tool that you offer people that really is going to help them be highly successful?
Look, I think the biggest thing for us, or for Masterclass, that we did was you know, interview some of the world's best chiropractic coaches out there and really just pick their brains on what it takes to run a successful practice. And that for me was just gold, and anyone can consume it. And it was just a wonderful program that we put together. Yeah, tough to put one thing on it there, Noah. Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's just a big party, and we're just trying to play.
Awesome. Love it. So in terms of I feel like this is a really ripe area in chiropractic right now. I know in doing all these interviews, I find like a lot of the old school, you know, people who are going to chiropractic school back in the 90s, that was their second career. And now you have people straight out of their undergrad going straight into chiropractic school. You know, they're maybe 22, 24 years old. And so it's a very different demographic that's coming into chiropractic right now. In terms of that, what do you what do you feel is really important for those students to up their maturity level in order to, play full on?
Yeah, that's a great point, and I totally agree with you. I think one of the things they can do is to go backwards a little bit. What I mean by that is go back and listen to some of the old tapes, the cassette tapes, the old recordings of seminars of the Reggie Golds and the seminars of the 70s and 80s, and there are so many gems in all of those. I have a stack of them that I visit from time to time, and one of the things that I see of that young generation is this. We have a lot of students that come and observe and practice over the years, and you can tell who's going to be successful a lot of the time through the person's ability to stay humble. This kind of attitude of everyone owes me things, and it just does not go well in the profession, but it also doesn't go well with our patients. When we can stay humble and just be there to really serve our clients, our practice members, whatever you're going to call them, that is, I think, where the success lies. So, I'd be encouraging people to work on themselves. Work on finding out what it is that really drives you, and then finding out the pathways to have that actualize. One of the struggles that I had as a younger chiropractor was thinking, chiropractic to me was everything, and it was all encompassing, and it was this who I am kind of identity that I identified as a chiropractor. It took me a long time to realize that can be a very dangerous place to be, in that being a chiropractor is something that I do, as well as being a father and a friend and a lover and all the other aspects that I do. And to try, I had to try very hard to get out of that mold of identifying I am a chiropractor. And for me, it was dangerous to get to the point where it was, no, I'm Tony, and some of the time I practice chiropractic. Some of the time I'm a father, and working out those that my life's mission is not the same as my chiropractic mission or purpose. And so getting clear on all that sort of stuff. And I think for a lot of people that sounds all a bit wishy-washy and but let me tell you, it is worth the time delving into it. And a few hours spent just doing that will come back to you tenfold down the track when you're trying to work out, do I practice this way or that way, or do I have this type of table, or do I set up in this town, or do I be an associate or a principal, or do I locum, or all these questions will come back to that knowledge and certainty of who you are, what your purpose is, and what your purpose in chiropractic is, or how chiropractic helps you fulfill your life's purpose. And if we can get clear on that, that'll answer a whole lot of questions.
Yeah, I hope I'm not putting you on the spot too much, but I wonder if you would feel comfortable sharing your chiropractic purpose and then also your personal purpose. So just so people have an example of what that looks like to kind of separate those two and have them be really clear.
Well, my life's purpose is to love, lead, and inspire. That's as simple as it is. And so if I'm loving, if I'm leading, and if I'm inspiring, I feel fulfilled. Now, chiropractic, through being a chiropractor, and I'm not practicing at the moment, so I'm actually having some time out of practice. And this is where it becomes very important, because in the past, if I had have not been adjusting, I wouldn't have been fulfilling my purpose, because my purpose was adjusting, helping people live extraordinary lives through removing nerve interference, etc. Whereas now, my mission, I can be doing this interview right now, and I am fulfilling my life's purpose. And so I can be within the chiropractic profession, doing all the stuff we do with Masterclass, putting the programs on, the podcasts, all that sort of stuff, and fulfill my life's purpose. I don't need to be adjusting atlases to do that. And so for me, that was a massive shift in, I was beating myself up about it. And so it really freed up, again, closed off some tabs, thinking I could be teaching at a school and fulfill my life's purpose. It just so happens that for the last 20 years, chiropractic has been the best tool for me to live out my life's purpose. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's brilliant. And I love the analogy of closing down the tabs, because that's something I experience in chiropractic school is there's so many tabs open all the time. And I feel like the more I'm able to edit and refine things, the more I'm actually able to offer more, and to be more present, and to deliver the quality of care that I really want to deliver long term.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love your life's purpose of loving, leading, and inspiring. And I wonder if you could be so bold. I mean, if, you're an educator and you have the Chiropractic Masterclass, and there seems to be a big difference between education and inspiration. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit about what the difference is for you, and how you, in your own life, balance out the education and inspiration.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've got a very concise answer for that one, Noah, but I'll give it a crack. I think, being educated is one thing, and being inspired is one thing. I'm not sure on their own, is that all you need? No, I don't think so. There's a lot of very well-educated people out there who are sitting on the streets, or not doing a whole lot with their life, and that's a shame. And I think if we can combine those things together and truly internalize that, and I think it's when this inspiration, again, it's outside coming in, which has got to then churn inside you within the things the things you've learned, who you are, your purpose, all those sort of things, and then come out as a true representation of who you are, and what then inspires you to go forth and do. So I think for me, I think it's around that internalization of those factors that will create your success.
Yeah,
totally thinking out loud here.
Yeah, no, I think that's brilliant, and it really is in alignment with everything else that you've said. You really have spoken a lot about this, the importance of the process of self-reflection, of taking time to really figure out what it is that you want to create, and then and then putting all of your energy behind that, and really like going for that full force. And
yeah, and I think there as well, Noah, I think also, or not. And what I mean by that is, you don't have to put all your energy into this. Like, you got to think, if I put all my energy into being a chiropractor, I'm going to be a pretty shit ass father. So you've got to take that into account of, okay, at the moment, you guys you're in college, you're in student, it's going to be a much bigger focus, to get this stuff into your system. And I'm not saying you should slack off, but I'm just saying it's okay to look at life and think, at the moment, what do I need? And then make some decisions on that. Because as a student, I certainly found that, you'd hear it a lot from people on stage, and even listening to people like me. I mean, take it with a grain of salt, people who are watching this. And it's very easy to say something from stage and say, you should do this, chiropractic is this, and you've got to be seeing this amount of people, and you've got to be doing it this way. And okay, take it all on, and then internalize it and say, how am I best going to go forth? And I get these little crap detectors going and think, what's going to be my best expression? I could sit here and say, great, you've got to be open plan, and you've got to be seeing 85 people an hour, and you've got to be doing it all upper cervical, and only blah, 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 blah. You think, well, that might not be the best expression for Noah. In which case, take it on, hear it, listen, don't judge, but internalize it and think, how do I apply that to my purpose? Or how do I apply that to what my gifts are? And so I think I didn't necessarily do a good job of that when I was younger. I just took it on and went, right, that's how you do it. And it was just coincidence that those things that I just went gung-ho and applied were actually good principled things to do, and it allowed me to have some amazing experiences over the last 20 years. But just be careful not to just go gung-ho for the sake of being gung-ho.
Yeah, I think that's a really insightful refinement. And one of the ways that I've heard it phrased as, some things teach you how to learn and some things teach you what to learn. And so in a way, you're focusing on the how. How do I process this information, and how do I, it's almost like digestion, right? Like you take in the food and you determine what's useful and what it needs to go back into the toilet. And so that's ultimately the process.
Yeah, going through uni, I had a file in my filing cabinet. It was called Practice Ideas. And every time I'd go and observe a chiropractor, go and get an adjustment somewhere, whatever, I'd look at, oh, wow, that post is amazing. Take a photo of it, put it in the file. That brochure's great. I love how they painted the wall that color. I love the openness of that, or the closedness of this. And just get a folder going. And again, now you'd have it in Evernote or something on your phone. But collect it all so that you can really, again, internalize that as to, that's a great expression. I can see myself doing it that way. Or, oh, I really don't like that. I'll put that in the file as something I don't want to do. And just collect these things. And, that was a huge help to me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I know that everybody watching this is going to want to learn more from you. I feel like you've been so authentic and so honest. What's the best way for students and other chiropractors to learn more from you?
Well, you can email me, Tony@chiropracticmasterclass.com. Visit chiropracticmasterclass.com. Check out what our programs. We're just redoing, as we're recording this, we're just redoing the website. So there might be a bit hard to see a few things, but we'll get there. And look, jump on our Facebook page. Friend me on Facebook, Tony Rose. Happy to help.
Awesome. Really, really appreciate your time. Really appreciate you and everything that you've offered. This has been a production of DC2B Revolution, supporting chiropractic students to think big, to live large. If you like this video, let me know, subscribe to the channel, leave some comments below. Dr. Tony Rose, thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure. Cheers, Noah.